Coming up live on LiveWire, we've got an amazing show for you today. We're going to be talking about everything that we've been feeling. We're going to talk about the frustration and the anger at our constant rolling pandemics. And we're going to talk about with a gentleman who is the head of an agency that is providing services for people who need to talk to people, who need to feel that they're with what's happening, and get a handle on their fears and their angers at all of this mishigas, as my mother would say. So stay tuned for LiveWire right after this. So with me electronically is Stephen Kite, who is the Chief Operating Officer of NAMI, which is, what is it?
The National Alliance on Mental Illness, and I'm the Chief Operating Officer at the California office.
Is it, and this is a national organization that is pulling together services for people who are dealing, is what I said earlier, with the angst and the anger. Well, I used the word angst. and just the hard feelings of all of this, and all the losses and the gains, and staying at home and blowing up because you can't want to go out, but you feel if you go out you're going to get killed. So it's an amazing thing, and to see that the state, our state, and is linking together all of the kinds of state agencies that deal with how we feel and how we can become stronger together.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, actually, NAMI, in a lot of ways, NAMI started from families who were just saying like, "Hey, we need some help here," and they weren't finding it, and so they came together and formed NAMI. NAMI is made from the kitchen table. Families trying to help other families in their neighborhood. And CalHOPE, that we're here to talk about today, is kind of that same idea, that we have the federal government through FEMA and SAMHSA coming down to California and the Department of Healthcare Services, providing this service across the whole state. There's a huge effort at the federal level, but just as big of an effort at the local level to try to get people the help they need.
So what are let's start with the first service, which was the warm line.
Yeah.
Talk about that a little bit.
Sure. So we have a warm line, and you can call at any time. The phone number is 1-833-317-HOPE or 1-833-317-4673 if you don't have the phone that has the letters above the numbers. And that is a place where you can call. If you're watching right now and you're thinking like, I just really need some help. I really need, this is starting to get to me. I feel like I don't have anyone to talk to. There's people there right now waiting to talk to you and work through the problems that you're having and find some resources for you. And that's available all day.
Yeah, resources. What kind of resources?
So thinking about, it's really tailored to the person. So when you call, you'll kind of talk through like, what are you feeling? What are you feeling like you need? And then the operators that we have are trained to kind of like help talk you through, well, what about this? Well, what about this? Mm-hmm. And really work through your personal need to get you to the service that you need.
Oh, that's great. That's great. Great.
Yeah.
And so, and that is the primary service right now, but there are other services like CalHOPE Connect and CalHOPE Student Services.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, so CalHOPE is really this umbrella for tons of different things. And the warm line is one way you can connect, but another way is through your computer. You can go to calhope.org. You can click on the live chat button. And there's folks there waiting to talk to you. Maybe you don't feel comfortable or you're not in a place where you can have a phone conversation, but you could chat with someone by phone. There's a person there waiting for you to do that as well. So really the idea is no matter who you are and no matter where you are, there's somebody out there who's ready to help you, wants to listen to what's going on. Because I think for all of us, as this rolls on, sometimes the burden can feel like more than we can take, but we don't know where to turn. a lot of times in our organization, we talk about if you see somebody on a street corner, grab their chest, kind of instinctively, we know what to do. We run to them, we do chest compressions, we call 911. But when someone's having a mental health crisis, we don't have those same instincts. We don't know who you're supposed to call. We don't know when someone's in trouble, what's the first step. Well, CalHOPE is that first step. And it's here, it's ready to process data at all times. So you can say, listen, I don't know, but I know that I need some help. And there's people there that are ready to go.
Yes, and so it's federally supported, this project, and it's also supported by donations of people, right? And supported by all kinds of statewide services.
Absolutely, yeah. The partner agencies underneath CalHOPE are here. They're charities in your area, nonprofit organizations that are connecting underneath this umbrella to just kind of come together and form this army of folks that are willing to help. And I'm lucky enough to be part of NAMI as one of the organizations that's able to do that. And we're just made up of community members, just like you and me, who we've been there. And I think that's the part that is always so impactful about our work, because I think for all of us, when we're going through something like this, we just want to talk to someone who's been there, and that's, I think, the magic of CalHOPE, is that it really connects folks who are going through something to people who've already been there and can help them find their way.
Yeah, I think what we said earlier, I think the major question was, if I get online, are they going to say, get out your credit card?
No, this is a free service. Free, it is taxpayer paid. So, this is, there is no credit card swiping on the site. It's free, free for everybody.
That's
right now, we want people to get the help they need. That's the first concern, and luckily we have such great leadership in this state, and the governor has really tried to kind of push forward these programs to make sure that, unlike normally when we have to kind of like hope that services will get there at some point after we need them, services are needed right now, and they're here right now.
You said something on the air before we came on the air about also it's not an individual one-on-one, which it can be, and I find that is a very strong service, a free service like this. But there's also group talks where you don't have to say anything, or you could just listen, or you can jump in when you can, right?
Absolutely, yeah, and that's really that myriad of services that we were talking about. Like underneath this, as you're talking to the person that you call or you talk to online, they will really show you what the options are. Are you interested in something where you're sitting in a group? For some people that's better to want to just sit in a group and talk. For some people, they want to talk to someone individually. So no matter where you are, no matter what language you speak, no matter where you live in the state, we can find ways to get you the help that you need, and really kind of drill in on getting you better or your loved one.
That's really good. We have a little video about this. I think just what we're talking about. Let's have a look at that.
The more we learn about COVID-19, the more questions we have. The biggest question now, what's next? What will COVID bring in 6 months, a year? If you're feeling anxious about the future, you're not alone. CalHOPE offers free COVID-19 emotional support. Call 833-317-4673 or live chat at calhope.org today.
I like it.
Live chat, yeah, live and ready.
So, and certainly it's an association that is also drawing on lots of expertise across the state, and people who have just been there and are excellent talkers and can bring forward the information. So
yeah, and I think in a lot of ways it's thinking about where you are individually and like where we are in terms of the disaster itself, and like with COVID it seems to just be we're always in these sort of different phases of where we are and trying to help people with what they need at that time in their lives. And so because it's so different for everybody, we wanted something that was really individually set up to help people where they are.
Individually, yes, that's the key, I think. And can we get on? Is there a website? Did we put up a website information thing? It's www.mamica.org. Is that correct?
Yes, okay. That's to connect to NAMI, and we would love to help you. And then calhope.org is the place to get the services, and we're there as well. So either way, you're going to get a hold of a NAMI person, more than likely, and we're happy to help. But yeah, that CalHOPE.org website also connects to the chat, to the phone number. You can't go wrong. Whichever way you go, you're going to find us.
So there's a screen, something up on the screen. It says there, FEMA's experience shows disasters typically have 6 phases.
6 phases.
Pre-disaster phase, everybody's at the beach. Impact phase, bam, it happens. Heroic phase, when everybody's running around trying to help everybody, right?
Yeah.
And then the honeymoon phase, oh, we did it. And then there's a disillusion phase because it's not all cleaned up.
Right. And in a lot of those phases, you're experiencing certain things, right? So like before it happens, we might have a warning, we might start to see stuff happening, maybe we heard on the news, and so you're feeling a lot of fear and like uncertainty. And that can trigger things for people who might be vulnerable to a mental illness or might be, just feeling unwell. Same with the impact phase. That's where we're really starting to feel the intense emotions. This is happening around us. We're really concerned about, our safety and what are the next steps. Like you mentioned, the heroic phase where we're really trying to help each other. And then we're, as that's happening, we're being tired out, and then we start to feel disillusioned. And from that, hopefully we start to rebuild. And that's that reconstruction phase. And so no matter where you are in that process, you need support. We're all, one of the great things about this state, one of the great things about this country is, we're always willing to go and help our neighbor, and we're always willing to lend a hand. But we also have to remember that we need a hand sometimes too. And I think that's kind of what CalHOPE is folks who are trying to help and, be there for people when they're in need.
Yeah, and the talk things too. I remember getting on your the website and other options like you could choose a multicultural group of people to talk to. You could choose some ethnic-based group to talk to.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. One of the great things about California is we're in such a diverse, beautiful state, and so the services that CalHOPE has brought together through our partners CalMesa, through all these organizations across the whole state, are really about tailored to your community. And so as you go on to CalHOPE.org, you can click through and learn about these great organizations. Like I said, NAMI is just one of a myriad of folks who are really coming together, but we all come from our own families. We all come from our own communities and bring that experience to say like, hey, I want to talk to somebody in the language I feel comfortable in. I want to talk to somebody who comes from a similar background and may understand, things that other people wouldn't. We try our best to like kind of match you up so that if you are looking for that it's available for you. And that it's not a one size fits all, because we know mental illness, feeling unwell, it's not the same for everybody. So the service really has to be tailored like that.
That's right, exactly right. And I noticed also on the other screen, I don't know if people can see this, but how to deal with stress and anxiety. Remember the 3 Ps: pause, breathe, do belly breathing exercise.
Yeah.
Put down the remote. How about my phone? Can I put that down? That's
put it down, yeah.
All kinds of stuff. Prepare to communicate.
Yeah, in a lot of ways, I think we call them the 3 Ps. And I think that part of that is, it's so easy to get so wrapped up in things that you forget the things like breathing, taking a breath, getting off of, the social media, getting off of, having the news going all the time. These are things that can add stress for folks in certain cases, and, really disconnecting and being ready to talk, prepare to communicate. Part of this is figuring out how do we start to talk about how we're feeling, and are there folks available that can listen to us and help us through it. And on the side of service people that are actually like helping, we spend a lot of time trying to learn how to do that in a good way, how to help people where they are, and really try to be centered in the person, really be centered in their strength of a person, right? Not thinking about it as a weakness, not thinking about it as a hardship, but really thinking about what is it that you're already doing that's great? What are all the ways that we can help you focus on the things you're already strong at? So there's, it's kind of on the technical backside, but for us, it's really just about helping people.
Yes, and some people actually feed their stress by using this little device. There's a couple of things in here. You can watch airplanes go down. You can watch people fall off of cliffs. You can all kinds of things. And for some reason, we're drawn to the drama of life, and these things. But actually, it makes our heart race, and you get up, you feel badly about all of that. But there are ways to manage stress, and we had I don't know if that came up on the screen where you are, but there it is. Boing. I don't know if you can see it right now. How to manage stress. Give yourself a break from COVID news.
Yes, yeah. And that's so hard, right? Because we feel like instinctually, I should be listening all the time. I should be trying to consume as much information as you can. But I think what we've learned over the last few years is there's a point where that's not helpful anymore. And we all have to be able to step away from, staring at it and thinking about it all the time. But that's really hard to give yourself permission to do. We have a really challenged world right now in a lot of ways. And so we're reminding everybody, like, hey, take a break. It's okay to talk. It's okay to breathe. It's okay to reconnect to the things that helped you feel better before this. But that's really hard.
Yeah. Maintain contact with family and friends. That's hard too. You worry about them, and so I make calls to places and people I haven't talked to in a long time, just to check on them. They love it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Absolutely. And I think like for a lot of folks, this feels, COVID has felt like the one thing that we used to be able to do so easily is connect physically with each other.
Right.
Hug your friend and hug your family. And this has felt so pulled apart. A lot of those support systems that we didn't even know that we had have been taken or, are taken at different times. And so what are these new supports that we need to have in place to help us get through this phase, into the next part, which hopefully will bring us closer and closer together. But that's the challenge of this time, and that's the hard part about consuming, the stress of the news versus what actually is good for me.
Exactly right. And there are two more points. If anxiety interferes with your daily activities, call a healthcare provider. And in this case, you call CalHOPE.org, right?
Absolutely. If you're in an emergency, of course, call 911. That's the place to start for an emergency. But if you're starting to feel like, hey, I just need to talk to someone, I don't know if I need help, maybe I'm starting to get to a place where I could use something, why not start with CalHOPE? Why not go to CalHOPE.org, log on, chat with someone. You don't have to talk if you don't want to, but if you feel more comfortable, because some of us don't like to be on the keyboard all day, you can call the phone number.
I especially like the anonymity of that in a way, where you're talking with somebody, you're fine. You could just hang up.
You could just hang up? Yeah, absolutely. And that's the great thing is we live in this world where so many things are at our fingertips, but mental illness and mental health services are not always there, and so we're so lucky right now to be able to have somewhere we can just call, or we can just, everybody has a computer on their phone nowadays, so you can just put it into the web browser there and chat with somebody while you're watching TV, while you're watching this great show. You can just chat away,
And the last admonition was to treat your body well.
Yeah. And it's so easy to not do that, right?
Well, heck, a lot of people have jumped on the alcohol wagon during all of this time, and it's time to pull it back, right?
I think this is one of the things is like, as you're looking for these supports, they can come in healthy ways or unhealthy ways, right? Mm-hmm. And so we're hoping that part of the way that people can think about this is, am I finding supports that are actually helping me? Obviously the overconsumption of alcohol, drugs, there's lots of different things that people have turned to in this time, and they might need some help getting back out of that. Maybe they have gone down a bad path or a path that's not helpful for them, and they're looking for a better option, but they're just not sure where to start. Just like that heart attack, you don't know what to do first. Well, this is a place that gives you that first step. Like, hey, I want to get better, but I don't know how. I don't know the way through this, forest. We're the way.
You got it. You drew the line right to it. So people, if you didn't hear that, it has to do with the fact is if you feel that you've gone too far in a direction that is unhealthy, you can get on the phone to this organization and talk to somebody about it all.
Yeah. These are folks that are across the state just hoping that somebody wants some help, just hoping that there's somebody there that's, feeling like, I don't know what to do next. These are these are your supporters. These are folks who are like, we want to cheer you on. We want to help you to the next phase. We want to help you get better. And so the hope is that if there's somebody out there right now watching this thinking, I don't think there's any hope, I don't think there's any way for me, that there is a way, and that there are people out here just trying, and thanks to you guys for having us here to talk about this. We feel so lucky to be here.
Well, thank you, Stephen. We are going to take a short break right now and throw up some information on the come right back, and we'll bring some more information to bear here. Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay, here we go.
Brandon met a girl on a dating app. He finally found the courage to ask her out. No answer. He started to panic. Was he being...
Hey, sorry I didn't respond. I was driving.
She must be a keeper.
When I never graduated from high school, I realized I wanted to go back to school because I didn't want to work these back-breaking jobs the rest of my life. With the help of my father and having my son, that was all the motivation that I needed to come back to school. I felt accomplished, made me feel that I could take on whatever challenges life throws at you.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
I want to eat apples and bananas. I need to eat apples and bananas. Why can't I eat apples and bananas?
Support the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks to help provide meals to those in need. Join us at feedingamerica.org.
Like, what can we actually do?
Whoa, we're back with Stephen, and we're talking about stress and how to deal with it, and we're talking about an organization that is founded to serve Californians, and it does because you can contact it, and for no money, contact that and get someone to talk to you who really knows what they're talking about, maybe even send and ask you proper questions, send you to somewhere where you can really get help if you feel that you are on the edge, on the turnaround or not. It's like the way we're talking about, just as we were coming in, it's okay to be not okay.
It's okay to not be okay, yeah. I feel like right now we're all trying to have this brave front all the time. Like, no, I'm fine, everything's fine, but it's okay for it not to be fine. We're in a global pandemic. There's all this stuff happening right now. It is okay not to be okay, and that's really what CalHOPE is here for. Let's talk about it. Let's figure it out together.
Yeah, and there are steps to stay safe and still do what you need to do in the world, and also to support other people.
Yeah. Actually, as we were coming back from break, probably caught a little bit of it as we were chatting, but I think it's so easy to feel out of control in all of this, that so much of what's happening is not within our control, but there are things that we can control, and there are things that we can do, washing our hands, wearing a mask, getting the vaccine, staying connected to each other. These are things that we can all take control over in our own lives. Like you said, maybe you've gone down a bad path for yourself, or an unhealthy path, not good or bad, but an unhealthy path. And maybe that is something you can control, that you can start to actually take some steps to feel better. And those are the things that we can help with. Those are the things we can reconnect everybody to in a safe way.
That's good. Before we leave, you should know, folks, that we're going to put up the telephone number that you can call and some more information that you can relate to CalHOPE, because it is California Hope. And I think
Yeah.
it's an amazing thing that it's working, and it's something that's crossing the United States right now, with other states doing pretty much the same kind of thing, and so it's getting America back on its feet. Oh, there it is. So I really want to thank you for coming on the program, because maybe you should come on in about 6 weeks and we'll go back and find out how things are going.
I would love it. I would love it. Thank you so much for having me.
My pleasure, my pleasure. So in putting all this together, we have about 3 minutes to talk, and I'm
Sure.
interested in a little bit of the structure of how it all came together and how it works.
Yeah. So, FEMA, obviously our Federal Emergency Management Agency, and SAMHSA came together and provided some resources. SAMHSA is the Mental Health Services Agency from the federal government, really thinking about how we can do some support work down to the states. And so here in California, a little behind the scenes, we have Cal Mesa, which is our counties coming together to do some work, really talking to our local charities, our local nonprofits, people in your area that are trying to help people. And we all came together in this gigantic army of help behind the scenes of CalHOPE to really kind of move this forward and help people out. So, the website is hopefully simple to use, but behind that is a gigantic machine of folks trying every day to just kind of help people out and move this mission forward to have a healthy California.
Yeah. There are some people that don't have telephones, by the way.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. It costs $4 or $7 or something like that to get a telephone now. But there are people on the street.
Yeah.
And I don't know how the cities and counties are handling that concept, but we got about 60 seconds. Do you have any ideas on that?
I think that's part of this whole thing, is figuring out what are those ways we can help people who maybe are outside of that help right now. So maybe if you know somebody who's in that situation, you can help them by connecting them to CalHOPE in some way, helping them to start getting on to some services, because there's a lot of people who want to help.
Stephen, thank you so much for talking to me. I really appreciate it. We got to be back talking with you and see how our things are going in sometime in the near future.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me, and everybody come to CalHOPE.
Okay. All right. That's all the time we have today. We'll be back next week with LiveWire, and we'll send some messages out to you to keep the hope up. All right? Ooh, what bounded me.